Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it guys. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Germany and the pickle that Germany kinda is right now, or rather in the short-term future. Why? Because guys, as you know, Fox 3 missiles are going to come soon to War Thunder, and of course Germany doesn't have right now any aircraft that could actually take any of these missiles. I think it might be the only country that lacks this ability for now, which means that once these missiles are added, for the sake of balance, Germany will need to receive one new aircraft that would actually use these missiles. What are the options we have? Well, we have two that are the major ones. I think the first one, of course, it's very obvious, the F-4F with the ICE package. Okay, this would include the new APG-65 radar on the F-4F, and also the inclusion of AIM-120s to the arsenal of the F-4F. Of course, being what normally Gaijin does, we would probably see another aircraft for you to actually grind that would receive these upgrades and not the original F-4F that we already have in game, instead of what happened in real life, that it was an upgrade to the existing F-4Fs, of course. And the second one would be the obvious EUROFIGHTER, of course, the EF-2000, normally even called as the Typhoon as well, an aircraft that would be on par with the most modern aircraft we have in the game, even more, to be honest. It would be very comparable to something like the Gripen, but it would be even better in certain aspects of it, since we have the first variants of the Gripen, of course, with the Eurofighter coming later in the time frame of the world, of course, right? So yeah, that aircraft would be a 4+ generation. It would be very, very powerful. It would be probably one of, or the most powerful aircraft in the game in the terms of performance, maneuverability. Radar would be amazing as well. I already have some videos covering the performance of that aircraft and what you can expect. Even, of course, on missiles, it would be very, very deadly. And, of course, the good part about this aircraft would be that 3 nations could actually receive it. The UK, of course, Italy, and also Germany. So the Germans would be one of them to receive. The MiG-29, as you know, don't have the ability to carry the R-77, not the MiG-29 912A and 912Gs that we have in the game in the German tech tree, right? So it means that we need an upgrade, as I was saying, right? And I think the most obvious one, and the one that would make more logical sense, but there are a little bit of a caveat for that, is the F-4F ICE, of course. It's an aircraft that is already in the game. It's very easy to deploy it, and yes, it would be a very good aircraft. The problem with the F-4F is that how would it actually, be against Su-27s, against MiG-29s, against F-16s, aircraft like that? Because remember, the F-4F is still an F-4 Phantom. It doesn't change the fact that although these aircraft can actually be a little bit better than the other Phantoms, being a little bit lighter, not having the in-flight refueling system and the extra fuel tank that was on top of the fuselage, I think it was, or something along those lines. And so it is lighter, so it is more maneuverable than the other F-4s, but still, it's still an F-4. It's still going to get stomped by the least maneuverable version of any 4th generation aircraft, right? So although you would have an F-18 radar together with AIM-120s, which will be the most modern missile that we would have in game, the performance of it would be not the best, right? At the same time, the Eurofighter might be too much. I mean, it depends, right? How they implement, how is going to be the radar, how is going to be the performance, because of course, it's not like, I mean, although they try, it's not always 100% realistic. They change some parameters of aircraft and missiles and everything to be a little bit more balanced sometimes, right? So at the end of the day, we might see the Eurofighter not being like what it is in real life, just like the MiG-19, for example, wasn't when it was first added, and they eventually buffed to actually be the full performance that it had in real life. So the Eurofighter might be something like that, right? But still, even with that, it might be a jump that Gaijin doesn't want to do. So what is there to do? I mean, at one point, at one side, you have an aircraft that, although will have very advanced weapon systems, it will still be a third generation aircraft, and with that it will suffer a little bit from the flight performance of the counterparts to it. And at the other end, something that might destroy all the counterparts that the F-4F ICE would actually see before, right? So it's a pickle. I don't know what they should do. Let me know in the comments, and we're going to discuss a little bit more about it, because I think the idea is problematic. I gotta say, I think, in my opinion, the Eurofighter would be like less worse. You know, it would be a little bit better. It's not the perfect solution, but it would be a little bit better. Why? Well, first of all, the Eurofighter can be added for many nations. Nations that sometimes don't get stuff. So Italy, for example, is lacking a top dog right now, in my opinion. The British received the Gripen, but still, I mean, it's their aircraft as well, the Eurofighter. And of course the Germans. So 3 nations would receive this aircraft. So there's a plus for that. The ICE would be only 1 nation. The second thing is that, I mean, the performance that a lot of the top tiers have, they are kind of on par with the Eurofighter. Yes, I think the Eurofighter will win in a lot of situations, but at the end of the day, if it's just a little bit better and not completely destroying it, yeah, it might be worth to actually have, even if it's a tiny little bit of power creep. I mean, 3 nations would receive this aircraft, and it's not like the US and USSR they don't have anything to be a counter to the Eurofighter, right? So yeah, it would be an aircraft that, although it will bring a little bit of a power creep, or not a power creep per se, but an increasing the power dynamic of top tier, it wouldn't be as big as we already saw in the game in previous patches, right? And at the other hand, the ICE would be lacking, right? It would be an aircraft that will be facing these top ranks aircraft, and it's not gonna be that great. So in my opinion, at the end of the day, even though the Eurofighter will bring a little bit of a power imbalance, the ICE would be too little for a country, you know? Does it mean that the ICE shouldn't be added? Well, no. I think if they're, for example, they're not planning to add the Fox 3 missiles in the next patch, like use this patch to actually have the F-4F ICE. Have it with the Raider, have it with A9Ls, and no BVR, you know, just an F-4F that it is a little bit better. Just like the Vegan is, the D variant of the Vegan is, or the Kurnas, or all these aircraft that could in theory receive better missiles, but they are just right there waiting for their turn, right? So I think the IC should be added ASAP like that, to be ready when the Eurofighter comes, and with that, then yes, then add the Eurofighter together with the Fox 3s. That's what I think would be the best option for Germany. But as I said, it is indeed a pickle, because every time they take a turn, one of the options, it is going to be bad for somebody in the game. So maybe for Germany, maybe for the other countries, it depends on everything like that. And I just think that the Eurofighter is a lot easier to balance it out, especially because 3 nations can receive it, than an F-4F ICE that nothing else can be added for Germany, and then Germany will suffer for a little bit, right? So yeah, that's my opinion. Let me know in the comments what are your opinion, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see ya, subscribe, and remember, I do have a secondary channel for GTA and other stuff. Link is in the description. I see you guys there as well.